Oh, there we are. Nice camera view. I'm not even in it, and I'm doing the intro. Welcome, everybody, to a brand new Old Carver Fishing Podcast. I am Luke Henches, and today we are in a blustery snowstorm. You can just set it down in front of you if you want. Oh, that works, yeah. We're in a blustery snowstorm right now here in Minnesota, but we decided we're still going to run the podcast. We're still going to send it, but today we are going to go. We have a great guest today. He is I'll get into who he is in just a second. I'll go around the table and introduce everybody in the podcast. Today, in the podcast studio, myself, Luke Henches. I am Fish on Luke on TikTok, Fish on Luke on YouTube. Next to me, we have Scott Goodyman. He's a local ice fishing legend out here in Carver, Minnesota. And across the table from me is the co-owner and founder of Old Carver Fishing Bait and Tackle and Old Carver Fishing Podcast. That is Chewy Godinez Jr.
What's up, guys?
Virtually joining us today.
The Blonde Bomber.
We have Tara Lindsay. The drive was wicked, so she stayed home, which is fair enough. I don't blame her. It's pretty crazy outside. Roads are not good here in the metro area of Minnesota. We're gonna probably end up with about, I'd say, 18 inches of snow by the time it's done.
I hope we everybody got to enjoy that weekend of glare ice on the lake.
Yeah, it was rough. It's gonna be full of snow now. But in studio is our guest. I'm sorry, I'm fumbling today. Also in the background, we have the other co-owner of Old Carver Fishing Bait and Tackle Shop, Rika Guzman. You can't see him, but he's there.
Yeah, you
I
can
promise.
see him now.
Now you can see him.
He put that bucket in front of himself.
Oh, he's hiding himself behind the bucket. And our guest today, we haven't had him on before, but he is the co-founder of a great organization known as Hometown Hero Outdoors. His name is Tony Tessing, and we welcome Tony into studio. Thank you, Tony, for joining us.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Can
Good.
you hear me just good?
Yeah.
Well, let's start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe where you're from and what got your passion in the outdoors. Kind of brief, just real quick, and then we'll get into the organization.
Sure. I'm Tony Tesson. I was born and raised here in Coon Rapids, Minnesota. Grew up Minnesota, outdoors family. Hunting and fishing was really big. Spent a lot of my summers growing up fishing at my parents' cabin just north of my house here in Princeton, Minnesota. Joined the military as a late join and did 6 years in the Minnesota National Guard with a year in Iraq, and came back to Minnesota and got married and all that stuff, and now I'm living up here in Andover.
I like that.
So
Joined Iraq. Huh?
Yeah. 2009 to 2010. I wouldn't do it again, but I'm glad I did it once. So
Sorry, we're laughing at Luke. Luke, I'm looking at Luke, and I'm like, "How are you even listening? If you don't even have the headphones on." He just realized he didn't have it on. That looks good. That should work. Yeah.
They might hear you twice. We'll see. We'll see how it works. So you grew up in Coon Rapids, which is that's a nice area to fish and hunt. Did you do a lot of goose hunting growing up?
Yes, I did. When it came to the outdoors, I still do. I hunted waterfowl quite a bit growing up, and then it kind of fell off because the guy that my dad and I went with, they kind of had a falling out over some. Not really. I don't know. My mom just didn't appreciate his alcohol consumption, so we didn't hunt with him anymore. But I picked it back up later in life, and now fishing and waterfowl hunting is my thing, and that's about it. I've kind of given up deer hunting altogether, and just birds and fish. That's about it. I honestly think it has to a lot to do with the water, and I just enjoy being on the water and on the ice, whether it be trudging through a slough or on the river hunting ducks and geese, or on a lake catching walleyes and bass and all that sort of thing. So yeah, that's kind of my outdoor area of expertise, or I don't know, passion.
Sounds familiar.
Yep. I think we can all relate.
Well, Luke and I are strictly ducks and fish. So
Sure.
and relate?
Yeah, I got a Hometown Hero Outdoors really reignited my passion for waterfall. Crap, half my stuff is hanging up behind me right now, but the organization really helps get people that have never done, like, had maybe an inkling of, hey, maybe I want to try this, and that's kind of what happened to me. A friend of mine, Andy, he's like, hey, you like to hunt or waterfall, you should come with me sometime. And he lit that fuse, and it's been nonstop. So
Nice.
Tell us a little bit about how you got Hometown Hero Outdoors, how it started. Tell us a little bit about where you're at now with members and the things you've done. If you guys aren't familiar with Hometown Hero Outdoors, I'm gonna let him tell you guys a little bit about what it is. I've been part of a few of them now,
I as
volunteering. Scott has as well, and kind of let people know where it started and where you're at now and your outlook.
And about the Minnesota Mate event coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's coming up next weekend. But Hometown Hero Outdoors started in 2016. A bunch of guys got together in a different organization, and we're kind of doing the same thing. But we found some things that some of the guys that started Hometown Hero Outdoors are law enforcement officers, and they couldn't be a part of for whatever legal reason that we won't discuss. We left them, and we got to thinking that, hey, we really enjoyed sharing the outdoors with others. Let's keep this going. So October of 2016, Hometown Hero Outdoors kicked off here in Minnesota, and since then we've grown to, I'm going to get this messed up, it's 27 or 28 states now. We've real heavy presence here in the Midwest, but we've grown across the nation. My brain just quit. I apologize.
Oh, you're good.
I think off the top of my head, there's like 10,000 different members. A member being military or first responder in our closed group, and we get those men and women that have served their country, military or first responder, outdoors, not only as a way to say thank you, but as a way to build healthy addictions to the outdoors and find new senses of camaraderie. When people get out of the military or leave career fields like law enforcement is one too, there's a very big camaraderie in those career fields. Firefighters, they also hang out a lot together, and when they retire or quit or move on, they lose that sense, and kind of the outdoors is a great way to build it and give it back to them. So, or give them a new sense of camaraderie.
It is 22 states, by the way.
If that's off our website, I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
Never mind.
I could be wrong. It's been a long day. I've been up since 4, so, but I swear we just added a couple states in there. Kentucky, Indiana, Georgia, I think got on there. I'd have to look back, and if you want, I can get you a whole list.
So
Someone
just asked in chat on TikTok, just so you guys know, if you're watching on TikTok, you can go over to our YouTube channel and watch us, and you can see who our guest is, and you can see Tara. Right now, you guys cannot see her or him, but if you want to go to the YouTube channel, Old Carver Fishing Podcast, you can watch us on there. Nick wants to know, can he get in on this? He is a veteran and a firefighter. How does he get involved with the Hometown Hero Outdoors?
So the best way to do is jump on, if he's got Facebook. Some people do, some people don't. There's 2 closed groups. There's the Hometown Hero Outdoors community group and the Hometown Hero Outdoors trip group. Both of those are military and first responder only groups. In the trip group, we post all of our trips that we are going on. I'm going to I'll pull it up right now. I don't know exactly what's on there right now. I think MN made because we're still, but join those two groups. If he doesn't have Facebook, your next best bet is to jump on our website, and you can actually join on the website, and we will post a lot of the bigger trips in there. The smaller stuff we don't post in there because it's just kind of a hassle to kind of post things in there.
Is that website hometown? Sorry, is that website hometownheroesoutdoors.org?
Yep, hometownherooutdoors.org.
We'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, so right now, like one of the more recent trips, there's a Brainerd Lakes area fishing trip that's posted. There's actually that'll be posted. That's for this weekend. There's a New England ice fishing trip for lake trout. David Gray over in New Hampshire is absolutely kicking butt and taking names. Awesome trips out there. If you've ever wanted to go to New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, they have some pretty awesome opportunities. Bear hunting, waterfall hunting is really crazy. And then fishing also. What else? Team Colorado just posted a Colorado resident only trip. One thing that's kind of unique and cool about our trips is except for this one, because it's a resident only based on permits and all that stuff. Unless specified, if you're in Florida and you want to come up to North Dakota to go walleye fishing in January, anybody's able to go anywhere. We're not going to cover your travel unless stated in the actual trip posting, but you're open if you can get your butt up there and you can come fish or hunt with us. Or now I guess we do dog sledding too. All sorts of crazy stuff.
That's awesome.
Michael wants to know, how many small scheduled lakes do you like to fish throughout a year? Kind of the secluded lakes. It's kind of off subject of HHO, but you got an answer for that one?
Yeah, I do. So I'm a creature of habit, and I don't venture more than 3 freshwater lakes. My boat doesn't go very far. I spent a lot of time on my in-laws lake, which is a pretty small lake, and then it's a chain of lakes that we can kind of get through. But yeah, I prefer smaller waters, even though I do have a bigger boat. It's just easier to fish, a lot less water to break down.
I feel that.
Whenever Catfish Chris is on, it says Tara is such an angel. She's live streaming from heaven. She looks like she's in the clouds.
That's pretty good.
Sorry, I'm backtracking here a little bit, but so was the Minnesota group, the Minnesota charter, were you guys you were the first?
Correct. We were the first team to get this thing going, and then Wisconsin, and then North Dakota.
And now it's like nationwide.
Correct. Sean Olsberg, one of our board members, played a huge role in our expansion. Sean at the time was a member when we first started in Minnesota, and he went on a bunch of different trips throughout his time up here as a recruiter, and then got relocated to South Carolina. And he messaged some of the founding members as, hey, I want to keep this thing going. I think we can grow this thing. Yeah. And he ended up starting the South Carolina chapter, and he was the team lead there. And he spent 2 years with South Carolina, and then he retired from the Army. And when he retired, he moved to Texas. And we got that phone call once again that said, hey, I want to keep this thing going. And he was the starter of 2 different teams. And now he's a board member. So
that's awesome. And Andy
Graff, he's a Navy veteran and a Rosemount cop. Dan Meyer, our board president, he's an active duty Army recruiter. He helped get HHO over to the Washington, Oregon side of things, because he relocated out there for active duty Army recruiting. He has done, I think, 2 sturgeon trips out that way, and those were some pretty interesting fish. But oh man, sorry.
That's
okay.
what
I have COVID brain, so my brain just kind of shuts down every once in a while. So
we know how that
so
goes.
Luke had that was what you did, was a sturgeon trip, wasn't it?
I did the well, the one here,
It was ice
open water.
open.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, with that'd be Big Chris Ehrman.
Yeah,
great dude. He's always into those sturgeons and stuff. I've never caught one personally, or catfish or anything.
Catfish are fun. I haven't.
I'd love to. I'd love to try it, but it's just I only have so much time.
I get it.
To dedicate and all that stuff. So
yeah, don't start catfishing because you won't want to fish for anything else. So
he's got a younger boy at home too. So
yeah,
how's Thomas doing?
He's good. He's quiet. He's asleep, I think. Mom was giving him a bath before I came down here, so he's a goofball.
So HHO does hunting and fishing.
Yeah, correct. Actually, everything outdoors. We've done foraging trips. We're actually going to be doing
That's awesome.
Team Colorado's got a introduction to survival, like outdoor survival class that they're going to be doing. They've also done barbecue, so actually preparing said meat, and butcher. We've done butcher classes before. We're actually learn how to break down an animal. So we cover the entire process of harvesting an animal to preparing it to eat.
That's sweet.
So if you come, last year I was part of the one on the Minnesota River for catfish.
Yeah.
Are you going to come to that this next year if they do it again?
If I could sit in somebody's boat, oddly enough, I hate rivers. Me and rivers are like, when it comes to boating, I'm like, I'll go ride in a river with somebody else's boat, but not my boat. I've wrecked things every time I put my boat in the river.
That's
every single time.
That's why I drive a jet boat.
Yeah, I have a 18.5-foot DV walleye boat. So
that's what I ran. I had a Lumacraft trophy 175 before this jet boat, and I took the lower unit out in the first week I had the boat on the river.
Yeah, so I helped with a catfish trip. I forget what year it was, but that year I took my skeg off and I ripped part of my trailer off because I hit the trailer. It was not a good day, but I
cracked my trailer last summer. So
you gotta pay to play.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So is HHO all volunteer based? Like when you have one of these big events, how does it come together?
So we are a 100% volunteer staff of veterans, active military, and law enforcement. And we have one non-veteran person, Alicia Hinton. She's just Alicia Hinton, and she's also a volunteer. But a trip starts out like this, just an idea in the head, and then it's kind of putting all the pieces together. For instance, I just hosted what I like to call the cabin trip. My in-laws have a lake place north of Mille Lacs, about 18 minutes, and it's a great place to host a lot of people. And I absolutely love hosting people there, and my in-laws love having people. So throughout the year, we raise money to pay for things like food and bait and stuff like that. And I think I bought all the meals for 10 guys that weekend. And I took 10 service members because I think we had a firefighter and a cop as well. Up for a weekend of just ice fishing, pan fishing and whatnot. And we actually had a guy from Florida who had never really ice fished before, which was kind of neat. And
that was an experience, huh?
Yeah, he actually caught a pretty nice northern pike. So we raise money throughout the year, various fundraisers. We have a big banquet coming up on March 25th in St. Paul, Minnesota here. where that helps raise all the money that we use throughout the year. 100% of the proceeds go back to our mission, and nobody takes a dime. I do this because it gives me HHO gives a sense of purpose, a sense of pride, and a sense of community for me. And that's one of the things that, like, when I got out of the military, I really missed. And this gives me a whole nother reason to, hey, I got to wake up and I got to keep moving so I can help somebody else out.
Yeah, the camaraderie, you bet.
Yeah. There's I don't remember who said it, but it's there's a quote that like kind of sticks in my head of, if you can turn your pain and suffering into empathy for someone else, you can save 2 lives.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah, well said. Yeah, right.
So,
That's why I do what I do, and I love doing it. And plus, I get to meet cool people like Scott.
I don't even know how I lucked out to go to that first event, but it was a blast.
I
Both of those events.
I sent a picture over of the first Minnesota Made event. That was a fun day. And
That was a really good day.
Is that the one
that
on
was
the
a
ice?
fun day, yeah.
Yeah. So the Minnesota Made event, which is coming up. Yep, that is the first. Yeah, I think that's the first Minnesota Made event.
It looks
Or
like
am I
it.
crazy?
No, that's the first one.
And someone wants to know of it's actually my buddy in Chad. He's a veteran and a firefighter. He said, can anyone buy tickets to the banquet, and are they on the website?
Yes and yes. I'd love to have you come out and hang out with us. It's going to be a great night. Some pretty cool. Sorry, it just popped up and I got distracted.
Sorry. Should warn you.
Yes and yes. I'd love everybody to come and hang out. It's going to be a great night. I look forward to it. There's going to be some pretty great guest speakers. Melissa Bachman,
Yep.
Oh my goodness, from Winchester's Deadly Passion.
Yep.
Yes. I get her name and the former politician mixed up. But she'll be out there speaking, and yeah, it's just going to be a great night.
That sounds really cool.
And Melissa met you in Texas before she moved back up to Minnesota.
I'm like 99% positive I deployed with Melissa. Like 99% positive.
She's listening. Melissa, can you confirm?
2009. Anyway, yeah, I look forward to it. Sean right here, yeah. Yes.
And you did.
That's awesome.
When I deployed, I operated what they called an aerostat, which is a giant balloon, and it had a camera on it, and my job was to like look at stuff. And people woke me up all the time because I work nights, and during the day, the balloon would become untethered and fly away. So I didn't do any of the cool guy stuff while I was deployed. It was pretty lame-o, but interesting experience.
Oh, there's a guy right there. We used to work with us. He was a veteran, and we used to look up to him when you find out all he did was fix boilers. I mean, yeah.
Someone wants to know if you ever met Gerald Swindle.
Gerald Swindle.
He says
no,
the G-Man.
The G-Man, Gerald Swindle, my guy. He is the one guy I look up to forever, for as long as I've known about him. I mean, I got a lot of things with Gerald Swindle.
What does he do?
He's a Bassmaster.
He's a talented angler.
Yeah.
He's an angler.
The coolest guy. I feel he's the coolest guy along with Ike, but I think to me, G-Man is like the bomb. I mean, he's
he
like
does
the person
a lot
we look up to. He does a lot for
kids,
people,
and yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, G-Man. So, do you know him?
No, I don't. I mean, I'd love to meet him.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
I the only one pro angler that I've ever met, and like I'm still in awe to this day. Do you remember when they had the Bassmaster Classic thing on Mille Lacs a few years back?
Yep.
And they had a huge event at the casino there, and we had a booth there, and all the boats and everybody was at the main stage, and I was standing back at the our booth, and Hank Cherry is his name, was sitting there in his boat, and he was kind of dinking, and I asked him how fishing was and whatnot, and he's like, it's not bad. Caught a lot of these walleyes. I don't know why everybody says there's no walleyes in here. I caught more walleyes than bass. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty typical. And then like a handful of kids like ran up to him, and like he was just talking to him, and all of a sudden he reaches into his rod locker and empties his rod locker, hands every kid a brand new rod and reel or whatever he was using. I was just in awe of that. And it was the coolest experience to watch.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, like if that happened to me as a kid, I think I'd just be like head over heels. That's life-changing stuff.
Yeah.
When like a tournament pro just gave me his rod and whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of those pros in the Bassmaster circuit, they can relate to that. They have all had that one experience where they met a professional like them, and then they do something nice for them, and then it sticks to them, and now they look up to them, which is cool.
Right.
It's cool.
Right.
It's really cool.
That's why I come in here and bug Chewy. Like, I don't know. I had a dude that ran a bait shop down south that used to like hook me and my stepbrother up whenever we'd ride our bikes down there all the time, and that's why I came in here. I'm like happy to see him around.
Yeah, we help a lot when we can. We help the community out, the kids. Sometimes you get kids in here that really want a lure, and they work hard for that lure, and then they come and they buy it, and then they lose it, and then they come by with a couple of them, and they'll give, here's another one, but next time don't do the same thing. Wherever you cast that lure, don't cast it there again.
Yeah.
Right.
There's this. Yeah, I mean it's a great having a beach job. It's pretty neat because you get to be part of the community, and there's so many different people that you meet, different interests, and you learn more, especially the old timers in town. We learn so much about them.
About a lot of the bodies of water around here too.
Yeah.
From the old timers.
So that organization it says it heals, it helps heal and build healthy relationships for the people that benefit from it, for the community, they can relate more to the community and feel more right. And I was also reading that some of them are afraid to ask for help because they're afraid that it's going to impact their work, or they might get demoted, or they're just afraid to ask for help, and it really bums me out.
Mental health is especially in active duty military, can play a big stigma. If getting help people can have negative reactions to it, and like it's too bad that happens. And I guess the younger generation has to try and change it for the better.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the
it doesn't happen again. Right. And like for me, like I said, being on the water is one of those things that just kind of unclusters my mind.
It's where I go to get rid of everything. It's like, yeah, no worries.
Yeah, right. Just being in the duck boat and BSing with whoever, or sitting in a boat catching fish or whatever, and by yourself or with somebody else, and it just helps mental clarity.
Yep.
So they had a total of 3,028 trips so far.
It's crazy.
That's awesome.
And over 11,000 members, which is pretty good.
It's a big number.
It should be bigger. I mean, I'm looking at the map here. I'm surprised New Mexico and California aren't part of this.
Well, we'll get there eventually. It's one state at a time. I don't know anybody out that way. I don't get out of Minnesota very often, so it's just kind of word of mouth helps spread. So if anybody's out in those states that we're not incorporated in and wants to start a new team, drop us a message, and we'd love to get a team started somewhere else. I don't know if Alaska's on there.
Is Arizona on there?
No, Alaska's not on there.
Alaska should be on there because that just got incorporated a month ago. So I'll have to make sure the website gets updated again. but it's definitely a lot more states than before. Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and something
Georgia,
else.
South Carolina,
Georgia,
Pennsylvania,
Yep.
Delaware, Connecticut,
Florida.
I knew you
Rhode
guys had
Island.
grown, but I didn't realize it was that much, like that fast.
Yeah, that's
Right.
related. Arizona.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird that Arizona is part of this, and New Mexico and California ain't. I mean, even Vegas,
So
Nevada.
I believe Arizona. What the guy in Arizona is so close to. He lives in Arizona, but he's so close to Colorado. He technically falls under Colorado, but we are incorporated in Arizona, so we can do. You can go do stuff in Arizona.
It's all over.
And we have done trips that aren't in states that aren't incorporated. Like we just sent 3 people to Lake Winnipeg last week, 2 weeks
You guys
ago.
could go to Lake Havasu down there in Arizona for them giant bluegills. They're like 15-inch bluegills.
Yeah.
They're
Don't
insane.
let my wife hear you, because my mother-in-law and father-in-law went down there for they're retired, and they went down there for a month or two, and my wife's gonna go down, and I can't because vacation time restraints, and I'm trying to go to Canada this fall to go shoot ducks, and my mother-in-law keeps saying it. It's like, well, they got all these giant sunfish, and it's like
They do. They're monsters.
I get it, but like that's like I have to take a whole week off, and I don't have that kind of
you do.
vacation.
I'd just do it the year after and go to
Right.
it.
Right.
I'm
getting pretty close to another week of vacation at work. So
where's this event at?
So funny story. This is the closest I've ever hunted to my house. That is 5 minutes from my house in the city of Andover. It's a sod farm. We limited out a 10-man limit in 38 minutes.
Really?
Wow.
It was absolute carnage. 10-man limit of geese in 38 minutes. One of the cool things about HHO, it does open up a lot of opportunities, such as this picture, the sod farm.
Pen.
Especially in the city. If I could show you a map of where it is, you'd be like, you guys hunted there? That's a little ridiculous, because we cleared it with the sheriff and made sure it was 100% legal, and let all the houses in the area know. But we were done in 38 minutes.
That's awesome.
Is this one?
That was this is up in Aiken, Minnesota. This is
up that way,
known as the Aiken Hunt, where we shot the only 3 snow geese in Aiken County, or regular goose. A lot of fun memories that day. A couple first timers that have never waterfowl hunted ever on that trip. The following day, we actually went and sat on the Mississippi and limited out on wood ducks, which was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
One of the things that we do is partner with local guides. This was a trip from this past summer with Mike Verdeja on Mille Lacs. Spent the day with two veterans on Mille Lacs chasing smallmouth,
Nice.
which is a lot of fun.
Yes,
Jared on the right there is actually from Illinois. He's a transplant here in Minnesota, and this was his first time out on Mille Lacs. So, and Lake of the Woods, this is coming up next week, and this is why I couldn't reschedule next week. Next week we're taking 45 people up to Lake of the Woods for one last walleye trip.
That's a big group.
Yep.
Wow.
I think we have 40 wheelhouses total.
That's awesome.
And those will get, the 45 members will get split up in between those, along with there's cookhouses. So there will be one house that nobody's staying in, but they'll cook all the meals for their pod, and we provide obviously the places to sleep and all the food and fishing fun. That's my boat. Yep, that's my boat. Took a couple vets out on the Mille Lacs for their first time ever, which was kind of cool.
That's a nice boat.
Yeah, I like it.
That's a 2003 Lund Alaskan. Nothing special, but gets the job done. Opportunities. Bow fishing isn't something that everybody appreciates, but some people do. We do have one trip a year that has, I don't remember what the numbers were last year, but I think it was 60 or 70 participants.
Dang.
And this is one year that I was just a participant, not a volunteer. And I actually took big dogfish that year. But
Where was this at?
it's so that starts out near Waverly, Minnesota.
Oh.
And every year they do a giant barbecue, and they'll move out, and at 8:00 everybody kind of splits up with their boat and they go to their own lakes. One year I was assisting a guy, and I should have driven my truck because we went from Waverly back to Andover, Minnesota, which was it was stupid because I ended up driving back and forth. But a lot of unique opportunities we have available for everybody. If this doesn't tickle your fancy, I'm sure we do something in the outdoors that might. Horseback riding was something new that was added this year.
Nice.
That is not my cup of tea at all, but some people like horses. So wheelhouse again.
The wheelhouse, just the boys hanging
Yeah.
out.
And that's
Look at that beauty.
Who's that guy?
that'd be me. Not a bad Walter.
No.
How big was that, Walter?
I think it was a 24.
Wow.
Damn,
24.
right
I
on.
was gonna say 24.
Right on.
24.
And Minnesota made.
I was there.
That was from
once.
Rush.
Was
Rush.
that
You gonna
last
come
year?
out this weekend, Scott?
I don't know. Am I allowed? I'll definitely show up.
I don't know. You can come hang out.
Yeah. I'll come help out
Yeah.
where I can.
Look at that one.
That's not a 24.
No, that is,
You want to know the
fish.
funny story about this fish?
Sure.
This guy had never ice fish in his entire life. Had never caught.
Isn't that how it always happens, though?
Had never caught a walleye in his entire life. Pulls a 32.5-inch fish on a tip up.
Fish of a lifetime.
Yep.
First time out. That's awesome.
Yep. And then that is a shot of the cabin trip in open water that is up at my
Yeah.
in-laws lake place. So
Dude, that looks
No,
sweet.
this is pretty cool
Nice, man.
stuff. It's
Got
a pretty
the
interesting
little
lake.
bit there.
Has a lot of big fish, but it sucks to ice fish, and it's challenging to fish open water because of the structure is 1 second you're 4 feet, and the next you're in 80 feet with a max depth of 120 feet.
Dang.
So this is a kind of a throwback picture. I found this and it kind of made me smile. I caught my first big walleye at 6 years old. It's a 24 3/4 inch fish. And we partner with McCoy's every year to do 3 launches throughout the summer.
Nice.
And this is one of them where I brought my dad as my guest, and we recreated the picture. But
Oh, awesome. The TikTok thingy. Is that like a TikTok thing going on?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes.
I don't know.
Awesome.
I'm
That's a
a
good picture.
peruser of TikTok.
Awesome, Ron. Thanks for sharing.
I like it. Heck
So
yeah,
you might have
okay.
already covered this, but when we were talking about that duck hunting picture, you said all those guys have never hunted ducks before, and then that bow fishing picture. What if somebody wants to learn to bow fish but they have no gear? Or someone wants to duck hunt but they don't know camo. They don't know.
So, that's the one cool thing about HHO is like we try and tell everybody it's like, don't let it scare you. We can square you away. We're very resourceful, and like if you want to go turkey hunt or you want to go duck hunt, I might not be able to find you waders, but I can get you in a duck boat and I can get you cameled up, no problem. We're very resourceful people, and we beg, borrow, or steal from our friends to use for a day. Or in my case, I've got enough stuff to outfit anybody that wears XL to 2XL. So it'll even come down to, so we make sure to let anybody know if this is something you're interested in, and you want to try it before you actually dive head deep into it, come out with us and try it before you buy it. And if you don't like duck hunting, if you don't have a shotgun, I can square you away. I got like a couple in the back there, so we're good. I might ask for you to buy your own shells because ammo's kind of at a premium.
Yeah.
But I can help you out. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know HHO's been it's been awesome here seeing it evolve into what it's gotten to now.
It's super cool.
But for anyone that's just coming in or wasn't here earlier, if people, before we get you off of here, we're gonna let people know. Do you want to kind of just go over again how if veterans or law enforcement or whoever wants to get involved with HHO or volunteers? I don't know how you get those. We kind of just do it. I don't even really. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But if you can go over how people can get involved with HHO, that'd be really great.
Sure. If you are, first of all, I said hello, Jeremy. How you doing? If you're interested in coming out and participating, check out our website, hometownherooutdoors.org. And if you're on Facebook, join our closed groups, the Hometown Hero Outdoors Community Group and our Hometown Hero Outdoors Trips Group. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the community group is used for outdoor-related issues, veteran-related issues, law enforcement, first responder-related issues. And we separated the trips so that the trips don't get lost in the general chat. Now, if you're interested in volunteering, your best bet is to jump on our website and email us at, I believe it's info@hometownherooutdoors.org and drop us a message, or you can message our Facebook page, which is simply just Hometown Hero Outdoors.
And do you guys take donations as well?
Yes, we do. There's a donations link right on our website. Currently, we are selling our raffle tickets for our big spring raffle, which funds all our stuff throughout the year. Some pretty awesome trips on there. And tickets are on our website as well. You can buy those online, which is kind of cool this year. Or message the Facebook page and we can get you squared away. Trying to make sure I covered everything. I think I got everything. Oh, and if you're just anybody that wants to follow us along, check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Hometown Hero Outdoors.
Well, we do appreciate you coming on here and spreading the word and telling us a little bit about the history of HHO. I know Scott was really excited to have you on here. Yeah, we were excited too. I mean, we've all known about HHO, and some of us have been part of it. So we appreciate you coming on here today. Sorry you couldn't make it in the snow. We can't really fix the blizzard. So
yeah,
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you in that catfishing event. We're gonna have it this year too, right?
Which one?
The Hometown Hero one.
Yeah, it's up to Jeremy. He's in chat.
Okay.
He put it on last year, so
I told him to make it a tournament.
Well, we can do whatever, but yeah, we appreciate it, and thank you for coming on.
I guess
definitely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, you guys.
Definitely.
You guys just kick back. Don't log off yet. We'll chat with you a bit here when we get off. So we're getting ready for the catfish event some early April. Apparel's coming in. You guys want to come check out the new apparel? We'll have samples of it here. You guys can order it through here. You guys can go to a website. Our website will go live with our apparel the first week of March. So you guys can pick up your here. We do have a bunch of Luke's Flathead Zombie and the Surgeon right now in stock. Those are that we were asking. We missed a couple. What's that?
I don't know.
I can't hear.
I can't either.
Rico's way back to Riga really here. But anyways, guys, I like you guys. Hey, Tony, thank you, man, for coming on, brother. It's nice to meet you. I wish you could have been here in person. That would have been so cool.
I know. I appreciate the invite. Thank you for having me.
Definitely.
All right, guys. And all you guys that tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in. And you guys have
I was gonna say I have more to talk about.
Go for it.
Catfish conference is this weekend.
Oh, that's right. Which we won't be at.
Which I won't be at. 24th and 25th in Louisville, Kentucky. We have our Catfish grand opening beginning of April here at the bait shop. Other than that, that's all I have.
Yeah. And Terrell's gonna win those awards. You guys are gonna win those awards.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That'd
Those
be cool.
nominations.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Old Carver Fishing Bait and Tackle podcast.
Yeah. Till the next time.
Until next time we do this.